Another 4K disc from Blue Underground. This time it is Maniac Cop 3 Badge of Silence, which has, or did have when it was being produced, a buttload of problems going on with this one that all come out in one of the best commentaries I have ever heard. But we'll get to that later on. The story here is that Cordell has returned from the grave thanks to a voodoo ritual, and this movie just careens into the universal horror tropes as it tries to become Bride of Maniac Cop.
To unite two tortured souls in holy matrimony. That's bullshit.
We have Cordell back again looking for a partner to live his life in the hereafter. Someone who was as violent as he was in his police life as well.
Hollow points, huh? Where accuracy is never a problem.
Well, you know, they are calling me Maniac Kate.
I wouldn't consider that a compliment.
We kind of open up to a character of Katie. She's a police officer. She's one with a reputation. They've started calling her Maniac Kate. We've got Robert Davi back again in this one, and we get a wonderful sequence of Katie trying to take down a drug-fueled robber in a pharmacy, played by Jackie Earle Healy, in an absolutely wonderful set-piece sequence. He's great. And when she ends up shot and in a hospital, our hero, Robert Davi, is investigating why she's been much maligned as the person that's responsible for deaths, even though she was the kind of hero. And we have our other hero-ish, Cordell, trying to protect Katie as people seem to want to turn off the life support or just much malign her. We have these two people vying for the same thing, to protect and clear her reputation. You get a throwback to the idea of Cordell and how he was framed at certain points as well, when that's kind of mimicked in the story for Katie, who spends, 75% of this movie in a hospital bed, which must have been a bit of a poor reflection of the actor. Just, what can I do now? Just lie there and play dead. This has some wonderful set pieces and sequences, again, as you would expect. One of the stands out is that pharmacy sequence I was talking about. It's absolutely wonderful. The idea of voodoo is brought heavily into this one, as we have Cordell being brought back by a voodoo spell, looking to have someone else brought back as his wife, as we have Robert Davi believing that Cordell is back again. We get lots of action round about the hospital. But there is an inconsistent tone to this movie. There's things that just happen that come out of the blue that feel unusual and strange. There is the doctor whom looked after Katie, who seems to be a kind of doctor that doesn't really care a lot, and he gets murdered at one point out of nowhere by Cordell in the most ridiculously over the top and fantastic fashion, which I really enjoyed as well.
I've got my hands full this morning. My top trauma guy didn't show up. Whoa, sweetheart, tie off that femoral there.
You could lose the leg.
He already has, as far as I'm concerned. What's on your mind?
There is a standout sequence, and I truly believe it's one of the best sequences in the movie, where Robert Forster comes into this one, and in a one-shot, a good old winner, he goes through this almost A&E, looking at all these bodies and where people are and how they need to be treated, and just kind of commenting on it, talking to a lawyer at the same time. And it's so fast talking and fun, and he's just giving an absolute wonderful performance, ultimately ending up with his death near the end of that. But it's just a terrific sequence, and it really does stand out in the movie. But the movie does have all these sequences that feel added in later on, that feel as if they're not necessarily part of the cohesive whole. But when you hear the backstory of this movie and how things happened, it's understandable how it went about. The commentary on this one that I talked about at the start is simply divine. It's one of the best commentaries I've ever heard. Hugely entertaining and yeah, just wonderful. It's classified as a director commentary by Alan Smithy, and it has the director and the producer who took over directing duties when Bill Lustig just walked off the set, and talks about all the things that kind of derailed the movie. They poke fun at it. They realise that some things aren't as bad as they first thought. Lustig talks a lot about correcting certain things that weren't great by darkening certain scenes, by adding flames at certain parts of the movie. Again, just a little tinkering, not as bad as Lucas, but just kind of enhancing certain scenes within the movie. But watching these two or listening to these two guys just bounce off each other, bad mouthing the making of the movie, but have a certain kind of pride about it as well, was just immensely entertaining. Maniac Cop 3 is not the best of the series. It's a remarkably watchable movie considering the shenanigans that went on behind the scenes. The commentary is absolutely standout and the movie looks amazing. I honestly can't praise Blue Underground enough. The transfers, the sound especially, is absolutely amazing. And again, if you're getting part 2, you may as well get part 3 and 4K, especially for that audio commentary, which is just downright wonderful. I'd love to know your thoughts on part 3 of the Maniac Cop franchise. Let me know in the comment box below. As always, there's more content up here that you can check out of mine. If you hit that like button down below, magic happens. And if you feel like you want to go a little bit further in supporting me, you can join the Patreon or the membership program for as little as 99p, and that is immense. Just you're helping me out so much. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Man v Film.